Our first stop this time is Englewood up in East Tennessee, where the sounds of nature, music, and even machinery blend in perfect harmony. Rob Wiles met a race car driver turned craftsman who manages to keep himself surrounded with his favorite inspirational sounds.
A walk in the woods can be so relaxing. I mean, the sight, the scent, the sounds. And if you listen real closely, you can almost imagine you hear sweet music. Now, if you happen to be in a particular part of the woods, near Englewood in East Tennessee, you'd probably be right about that.
It's a fun thing to learn on the back porch. I have no desire to play in public. We play just about every morning up there. It's a good place to have coffee with the waterfall coming down the hill there and play music.
So Johnny McGrew and his wife Becky do just that. Sit on their back porch, relax, play. Johnny liked the sound of Dulcimer so much, he decided to jump right in and start making them.
The thickness of the wood is important, especially the soundboard, the top. And we cut grooves in the bottom of the fingerboard just to lighten it up and make the vibrations a little better. I've learned from some of the builders things to do, and I've read about some of the things to do, like cutting slots out underneath the fingerboard so the top board can vibrate all the way across the instrument, where if it's glued solid in the middle, you only have like 4 inches of vibration, and if you can let the whole thing vibrate, you get a better sound.
That Johnny would just start making dulcimers one day was no surprise to his wife Becky, but his output has been a bit of a shock.
Well, I knew he could, but I didn't know he would make one every week. But he's put back really pretty pieces of wood through the year. He says, well, you know, this would make a pretty dulcimer.
Well, I've got a weakness.
Yes, Johnny's weakness is wood. A weakness Johnny can trace back years ago to when he got some advice from a woodworker he respected.
He said, learn to build the best piece of furniture that you can build. He said, you'll get to work for 1% of the people, maybe. That'll be enough.
So Johnny launched his own woodworking career long before the dulcimer bug bit him.
You can look in my shop, and there's little cub holes everywhere just stacked full of little pieces of wood that aren't fit for anything except one day I'll make something out of it. I'll combine them, glue them together or something, and make a bowl out of it. And it's just seeing what's in that piece of wood. And sometimes it doesn't come out until you make the object. You turn the piece and then you see something there. And then sometimes you don't see anything. I've had wood carvers to tell me that they could see in the wood before they carve. I can see when I get through carving. I can't see that before. That would be cool if you could.
Speaking of cool, Johnny has a weakness for wood, sure, but also for chrome and metal and screaming tires.
Spent 20 years drag racing. Was fortunate enough to win a few races. Got a few trophies from Bristol, Tennessee, and Rockingham, and Atlanta, Georgia. And got too old to drag race. Started building hot rods. I'm building a truck right now that belonged to Becky's dad. It's an old Chevrolet, 1968 Chevrolet.
It's pretty hard to argue with the sound of a well-tuned and souped-up engine. But remember Johnny's weakness for wood and the sweet sound of the dulcimer, which really hooked him at one particular moment.
I found an article on a Tennessee music box and got interested in that, and there were so few of them that I thought that would be cool just to build some of those. They were a large rectangular box. Looked nothing like a violin-shaped musical instrument that we think about as something quality coming out of. Sits on like
Okay, it's a bit hard to fathom a guy like Johnny who has so many different interests. When you meet him and talk to him for a while, you'll figure out the thing that ties the cars and the carving together for Johnny McGrew.
You have to have the story. If you can go to Walmart and get it, it may have a function, but it's not worth a whole lot. So everything, you've got to have a little bit of a story to go with it. Tell me the story first and then you can sell it to me.
You know, maybe you can sell it to Johnny for a song, like the sweet song heard on his and Becky's back porch in Englewood from the Dulcimers Johnny creates.